Hey, this will be a robotic trading quick lesson entitled Avoid Hoggish Perspective. This is probably the most important thing you will need as a trader if you want to be successful. The crazy part is it's not even a strategy, it's just purely a mindset. And if you've been in trading for a while, you know that a lot of it is just psychological. But this perspective, this mindset, and avoiding hoggish perspective is what is needed. I'm not going to say guarantee profits, but help with your consistency in profits and really nailing down some good, consistent ways of thinking and approaching every trade that you make. So this video may go on for a while. I'll try to keep it as short as possible, but I'd really encourage you to listen to it in its entirety because it is a very important thing that you need to master. So the question, what is your perspective? What do you consider success? Are your goals based on monthly, weekly, daily things? And what is your strategy? Those are the things that you need to kind of ask yourself, knock around in your head. Basically, at the end of the day, when 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time rolls around, assuming you don't trade after hours, but when 4 o'clock the closing bell rings, what is going to have a smile on your face? That's what you need to ask yourself. What needs to happen in order for you to feel good about and smile about your trading day? So think about these things in terms of what is your perspective right now. So the point of this video is I want to establish some credibility about the real-time example I'm going to do. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know that I'm a big fan of pulling things out that really happen in the real world. I don't have anything against textbooks, but when a textbook can, scan thousands and thousands of examples to choose from, it kind of takes a little bit away from it. But I want to show that this really did just unfold, really did happen, and then after that we'll go over the end result of it, go over the numbers, and this is where I'm really going to try to make the case for a perspective and just kind of almost mind-boggling how trading works. It almost seems illegal, doesn't seem right, but if you have the right mindset, which hopefully these numbers will show you, you'll probably question, is this really possible? Talk about a strategy a little bit, and this is kind of my bootleg funnel. But after we go over all this, hopefully this funnels down, and the result of all the funneling is a new perspective that will help generate more consistent profits for you. So let's first map out here some credibility, and this is the New York Times page. You can see up here December 8th, 2012. So first thing I want to do is just refresh it. So you can see this is the page, and I should note that I want to do this because there's so many jokesters out there. You never know who's really telling the truth. You don't know if things actually happen when people said they are. So I figured this way it just eliminates everything, and you know that this example that we're going over actually did happen and happened literally a couple of days ago. So again, this is December 8th. Now let's go over to our Twitter page. This was also posted on our Facebook, so we'll refresh this. And you can see right down here, this is what we want to focus on, WTCG on December 6th. So a couple days later, now it's December 8th, but on December 6th, before the opening bell, we just put early morning Momo play, which stands for momentum play. Keep an eye on it for WTCG. So this is where the whole kind of example is unfolding from. We just threw out a quick social media alert, and now let's look at what happened with it. So this is the 1 minute chart. Real quick, what that means is every bar that you'll see, your candlestick as are known, just represents 60 seconds worth of price action. So the opening bell rang, and you can see that first minute, very nice action. Had a consolidation the second minute, third minute, just got up there towards those highs. That fourth minute put in new highs. Fifth minute, another consolidation. Sixth minute, attempting to put in new highs. That seventh minute did put in new highs. Again, had a candle there, and then things then declined. So right here, 9 minutes, you can see that the price made a nice movement here. Charting wise, it was very evident to see that you should have been locking in profits, but this is not a strategy video in terms of how to use charts. It's just a mindset, so we're not going to go into the charting aspect of it. I just wanted to represent the move. But if you do use charts, then hopefully you can see that it's a pretty couple things going on here that made it evident that you should begin to lock in profits. So the end result started at 0.0315, and then in that time span went up and hit 38 or 0.038. Tried multiple times, so it's not like it was just a quick hit at 0.038. 3 minutes straight, the price tried to get above there, couldn't quite do it, and then things fell apart. And like I said, we're not going to talk about what the charting told us because that's not the point of the video, but if you know charts, then you could have easily seen that it was definitely time to start to lock in profits, but not the point of the video. So in technically 9 minutes, I have 10 minutes here, but in 9 minutes there was a profit window of 20.6%. So now the question is, what are your thoughts after hearing this? Are you saying, well, that's kind of nice, but it didn't meet my goal percent, so it's not that great. Or maybe you're thinking, well, there's not enough profit potential in there. I need more profit to work with. Maybe you're just saying lucky guess, and lucky guess or not, that's with charting, it was easy to see and get this one on your radar. But maybe that's what you're thinking, or you're thinking happening too fast. 10 minutes. I guess you could say that, but I would question. I've never heard anybody complain about too fast of profits. I mean, if anything, why is it taking so long for something to happen? So if you're thinking happen too fast, you might want to rethink that one. So for those people that were maybe thinking, oh, that didn't meet my profit, if this is a penny stock, I need to get 50% or more, or just weren't happy with, the 21% basically in, the 10-minute period, I would probably call you a hog, and this is why. And for you, this is the hoggish perspective and result. So as I pointed out, it opened at 0.0315 and 10 minutes went up and hit 0.038. But now for the rest of the story, by the time the closing bell came around, the price was all the way down here, and then as of Friday, it dropped even more and eventually is now down sub penny at 0.008. Maybe you don't quite understand candlesticks, so I thought, hey, I'll throw up a line chart. So that's pretty easy to see. And then maybe use bar charts, pretty easy to see. Bottom line, the hogs got absolutely slaughtered. And this right here is a thing of barbecue sauce, and I put that because for those people that had the wrong perspective, the greedy perspective, that's what they ended up as, getting barbecued. And then right there was the ultimate end result, a nice barbecue sandwich. So the question is that you? Do you have the perspective where you wouldn't have been happy with potentially 20% in 10 minutes because it wasn't 50% or wasn't 200%? Maybe you're not. That's good. But if you're going over this example and thinking, wow, that wasn't impressive. Who cares about 20%? I want a lot more. Well, then I'm sure you've been here before, and if you haven't, it's only a matter of time. So now let's take a look at the numbers, and this is where I really hope to build the perspective and really kind of show that it almost seems to be illegal the way trading can work if you have the right mindset and perspective. And we're going to be conservative about it. So remember, that move happened and it was 20.6%, but we're only going to assume that you captured 10% of it. So we're going to say you got less than half of what the move actually happened. I think that's pretty darn conservative. And you put $1,000 in. So in 9 minutes, you pull out a profit of $100 in those 9 minutes. So now let's take a step back and we're going to talk about Bob. Bob goes to work that same morning, and Bob makes $15 an hour. And this is what Bob puts up with, getting yelled at for something he probably didn't even do. Probably wasn't his fault, but hey, you know how it goes in the workplace. Bob's getting yelled at by his boss. Again, he makes $15 an hour. So the question becomes, Bob must work for how long to make that same $100 that you made in 9 minutes? And the answer is 6.5 hours. So think about that. What you made in 9 minutes, it's going to take Bob over here getting yelled at and everything else that happens 6.5 hours. That's pretty crazy, pretty mind-boggling, and almost seems illegal that you could sit here, that I could sit here in my underwear and in 9 minutes make what this guy did, having to dress up every morning, put on a suit and tie, what he got in 6.5 hours. Pretty crazy. Okay, so maybe you're thinking, but I don't have $1,000. Well, all right. Well, let's say you only put in $500 then, and again, only captured 10% of the move. In 9 minutes, you pull out a profit of $50. But let's talk about Bob again. Bob is still at work that same morning, but hey, good news for Bob. Bob got a $5 raise, so now he makes $20 an hour. But you know how that comes. You get a raise, now you have another boss, and now she's yelling at him for something he probably didn't do, wasn't his fault, but again, you know how it goes. So with the raise, the question is, how long does it take for Bob to make that $50 that you made in 9 minutes? And even with the raise, it would still take him 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours of getting yelled at by his other boss now to make what you did sitting in your underwear in 9 minutes. So don't look at it as, wow, I only made $50. Look at it as, wow, somebody making, poor Bob making $20 an hour. It's going to take him 2.5 hours of this to be able to make what I just did in 9 minutes. If you kind of think about Bob when you're sitting there wanting your 50%, 100%, really opens your eyes a bit. Now this part is extremely important too. What is your strategy? Are you sitting there saying, well, I can make these returns. I'm not going to be a hog anymore, but I can make these returns by saying, I'm going to follow some random person on an internet message board, or maybe I'm going to go talk to Billy Bob Bo, my neighbor, and ask him for stock tips, or the one that really grades on my nerves the most. The stock market is a casino. My only strategy is to cross my fingers and hope that I can get some gains. Well, that's just completely false, because there's plenty of strategies out there that you can put the odds in your favor. There's no such thing as a guarantee, but you can definitely tilt the probabilities in your favor. I personally use charts, and that's what I would advise everybody to use and recommend, but that's just my biased opinion. But ask yourself, is your strategy actually a strategy? All these first two are fine. You can say that if you're looking for a place to get started, but you also need to have a place that can measure what's going on. And I use charts for that measurement. So not only do you have to have the right mindset, but you have to have an actual strategy too. So again, nothing at all wrong with these as long as you have the right mindset and an actual strategy. These alone are not a strategy, but these combined with, let's say, charts and the proper mindset is what a real solid trader is going to need. So again, hopefully now you're looking at things saying, wow, I've really had kind of a greedy, hoggish perspective. And just ended on this. If you're ever sitting there thinking, should I lock in profits? I'm up 10% right now, and it's been 15 minutes. Think about Bob. Think about Bob and getting yelled at. Think about Bob getting that raise, and yet it's still taking him 2.5 hours or 6.5 hours to make what you could probably just be making here in a half an hour or an hour or whatever that may be. So think about Bob whenever you're struggling with taking profits. Thanks for watching the video. Hopefully you found it helpful and pulled out some things that you can use in your trading strategy, whatever that may be. If you did find it helpful and informative, then I'd encourage you to check out a couple of these resources here. The first being our robotic trading course. As you can see, it's over 8.5 hours of teaching, so there's plenty of information. There's all sorts of stuff, and with it you'll be able to build your own strategies, learn about charting in general, and just really be able to, like it says, profit in any market environment. Because remember, just because the market may be bad, you can always short and things of that nature. So with the course, it goes over how to use charts, and when you learn the foundational things like that, then you can begin to build your own strategies that benefit you and fit into your personality and so forth. So I'd encourage you to check that out. And also on that note, I'll be the first to admit I'm pretty biased when it comes to it. So I'd encourage you to check out the third-party reviews and testimonials. Those were all unsolicited, all uncompensated. So these were just people that were reaching out to us saying, hey, I bought the course and these are my thoughts. So I'd encourage you to go to that link and just check out third-party reviews, because like I said, uncompensated. They reached out to us and wanted to offer feedback because they were happy with the course. Also, we have a Bull Warrior Stocks newsletter that is located at bullwarriorstocks.com. If you sign up for the free newsletter, you'll receive a free ebook with some charting strategies and so forth, a part of it. And like I said, that chart or the site is completely free, no obligations, no hidden cost, no strings attached, anything like that. You can subscribe, unsubscribe whenever you want to, and you're not going to have any sort of cost or anything pop up. So I'd encourage you to check out that. But as a warning, I'd say that it's better to learn charting and so forth, because the Bull Warrior Stock site is revolving around charts. So you got to know what you're doing when you're looking at charts. So place one would to start would be up with the course, and then that way you can gain an understanding and add another tool to your tool belt. So again, thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or anything on either of these things, please get a hold of me. Thank you and have a good one.